What's up, guys? Today we're just gonna do a chill little video. We're gonna talk about the topic of self-love. Don't mind the background. I know it's a little bit messy, but I just want to get this video up. Today we're gonna be talking about how where you are in life today directly is a reflection of how much you love yourself. So this topic for the video is self-love, success, personal growth, and understanding your truth and your long-term goals in life, how you're gonna get there, and why it takes self-love to get you there. So you know what? Grab a coffee or a drink, get comfortable, get ready to hear a little bit of tough love. Okay, self-love. How does that impact pretty much every aspect of your life, and ultimately why self-love matters? So I think a lot of people have different definitions of what self-love really is. Self-love to me isn't just putting on a face mask, going to the spa. On the surface level of things, yes, that is a form of self-love, but we want to get a little bit deeper into what self-love is so that we can actually truly reflect on how it's affecting other aspects of your life. So self-love is one of the core foundations in everything you do. Self-love is reflected in your relationships. Self-love is reflected in your career. Self-love is also reflected in the daily habits that you do. So loving yourself is really just the baseline of how you treat yourself and also how you allow other people to treat you. So let's talk a little bit about the connection between self-love and your current life situation. Let's break it down a little bit. Where you are in life, whether you are thriving, you're stuck, you feel like you're coasting in life, you're stagnant in where you are, that's directly tied to how much you truly value and love yourself. And that might be something pretty harsh to say and also harsh to hear, but in the reality of things, that is the bare truth. Self-love is all about self-respect, how you talk to yourself, how much you know about your self-worth, how much you value committing yourself to living a life that's aligned to your goals and what you want. If you're truly struggling, if you're feeling unfulfilled, if you're not going after the things that you want in your life, that is a pure reflection and pure evidence that there is a disconnect in your self-love. There is a disconnect in how much you prioritize yourself and value yourself. Because if you think about it, if you really loved yourself, if you really valued yourself, if you really prioritized yourself, you would be going after all of the things that you want in your dream life. And if you're not, that could be because you lack either self-love or you just really don't know where you want to be in your life. Self-love means being honest with yourself. But to be honest with yourself, you first need to know the truth. You're not going to know the truth about what you want in your life if you don't do the self-reflection that it takes to understand, these are my goals, this is what I have to do to get to them, and this is how I'm going to prioritize self-love to commit myself to the daily habits that I need to do in order to reach that goal. And as much as self-love dictates what we do on the daily and how we show up for ourselves, self-love also shapes our decisions. It's a direct factor in our decision making. Think about it. If you truly loved yourself, you're not going to settle in a relationship that drains you. If you truly love yourself, you're not going to settle in a job that doesn't fulfill you. And if you truly love yourself, you're not going to subject yourself to the same habits that are holding you back and aren't getting you to that dream life that you truly want. Loving yourself means showing up for yourself every single day, the same way that you show up for others. If you're a people pleaser, but the last person you please is yourself, the last person you show up for is yourself, you're trying to find love and approval from other people when in reality, the only person that you should really be seeking that love and approval from is your own damn self. So back to decision making. How does self-love tie back to that? When you prioritize self-love, you naturally start making decisions that prioritize and put you at the forefront. You start to make decisions that support your happiness, that support your growth, that support your long-term well-being and your long-term goals. And that's really why self-love directly affects the life that you're living right now, your current situation, what your future could be. Because had you made the decisions that align with your goals, you may already be at the place you wanted to be a long time ago. If you just chased after what you wanted and you had the confidence in yourself, the self-love to know that that is what you truly want, that's what's going to make you happy, you would have already been chasing that. You would have already been close, near, or at your goals. Before you can truly love yourself though, you need to know how you want to be loved. And a lot of people are like, I don't know how I want to be loved. But the way that you love other people, that is a reflection of how you want to be loved. So look at your love language, look at how you give love, analyze it, and that's exactly what you need from yourself. For example, for me, I give love through acts of service. And it wasn't until recently where I figured out that as much as that's how I love to give my love, is truly just how I want to receive it as well. And I was looking for that in other people, when in reality, all I had to do was show up for myself. Positive self-talk, acts of service in myself, doing the things that I said I was going to do, doing the things that I know is going to make me happy. And until I started doing that, I had not seen any progression. I couldn't show up for other people because I wasn't showing up for myself. So talking about self-love, it always circles back to what are the practical ways that I can cultivate self-love? And I actually made a list of 3 action items that you can do to start practicing or continue to show up for yourself in the form of self-love. So I have 3 things. Number 1, setting boundaries. Loving yourself, as I said, is prioritizing yourself. And that also means to be able to set boundaries that will protect you. You need to set boundaries, even if it's uncomfortable. I know it's uncomfortable, but ultimately you need to set boundaries for your own betterment, for your own good. And setting boundaries can mean setting boundaries about your time. You can set boundaries about your personal goals, skipping some kind of hangout that you know is not going to get you anywhere in life for, going to the gym or something and showing up for your physical or fitness goals. That could mean setting boundaries on things that drain you or don't serve you. And setting boundaries is a skill. It takes time. It takes repetition. It takes practice. As somebody who's not really confrontational, I had struggled to set boundaries. I was such a people pleaser, but people have just pissed me off enough for me to have to set boundaries. And I don't want it to get to that point for y'all, but that'll push you for sure. If I could go back in time, I would much rather learn how to set boundaries because I loved myself and because I can, not because I was just annoyed with the world. But ever since I did start setting boundaries, I have been able to prioritize myself. I always talked about, I didn't have time, blah, blah, blah. I have this, and that. I have to show up for this other person. I had always used that as an excuse. But when I started setting boundaries, I realized that I didn't have any more excuses for myself because a lot of my excuses stemmed from other people. A lot of my excuses stemmed from external factors that once I started setting boundaries, I didn't really have that to deal with anymore. And it freed up so much time for me. So action item number 1, set boundaries. Action item number 2, prioritize self-care and personal growth. Now, if you're still watching this video, that's a good indicator that you do prioritize self-growth. So this is a very good sign. But again, self-care, as I said earlier, is not about pampering yourself. That's not the only form of self-care. But self-care is about also prioritizing your personal growth. How do you nurture your mind and your spirit? How do you restore your energy? How do you re-energize and pour back into yourself? Do you read books? Do you meditate? Do you exercise or go to the gym? Do you feed your mind with positivity? Do you feed your mind with personal growth content like this? Do you feed your mind with fulfilling relationships or fulfilling goals and activities? Those are how I really view self-care nowadays, now that I really understand what self-care and what self-love truly is for me. Like before, I used to just slap on a face mask and put on some music and call that self-care, call that me putting myself first. A face mask and some music can only do so much for my future. Yes, it's boosting my serotonin and it's making me a happier person and just boosting my overall mood, but in the grand scheme of things and in my long-term goals, that way of showing up for myself was not making as much of an impact as having discipline to go to the gym every single day, having the drive to continue to build my business, having the bravery to cut off certain relationships that were no longer serving me or draining me. Like the impact between that and putting on a fucking face mask was not comparable at all. But nonetheless, practicing these habits, as small or as big as they are, being able to show up for yourself and prioritizing your self-care and personal growth in the form of other things besides a fucking face mask will reflect how much you truly care about yourself. And number 3, practice self-compassion. You know what? If you make a mistake, that's okay. You gotta forgive yourself and just move forward. The whole thing with consistency is that failure is a part of that journey. You have to fail a couple of times to really realize how important consistency and how important certain things are in your life. Holding on to guilt or shame because you didn't do something, because you didn't show up for yourself in a certain way that you should have. Holding on to this guilt and shame is just another sign that you're not giving yourself the love that you need. It's giving very much all or nothing mindset. And we all know that consistency will always beat intensity any day. You have to remind yourself that self-growth self-love is a journey. It's not going to happen overnight. And if it does, that's a fucking miracle, because working on yourself is really, really tough. But self-love also means accepting yourself at every single stage, as long as you're doing the things that will get you to that next stage, that next level. So then when you start to embrace self-love, your life will actually start to align with those values. You will start to align with your true potential, which is really, really exciting. It's so interesting how self-love just leads to success. It's kind of like an energy thing. I think like self-love is a feeling of abundance. It's like all of your self-doubt just kind of goes out the window. And that's what happens with confidence too. When you focus less on self-doubt and you focus more on confidence and achieving the things that you want to do, learning through failures and just continuing to try again, you're going to start making choices and you're going to start learning lessons that will propel you forward. The reason why you're not where you want to be in your life is because truly, you're not ready. You haven't prepared yourself enough. You haven't gone through enough experiences to be able to handle that dream life of yours. If I had traveled through time and the person that I was 4 months ago were to come into the body that I have today without all the things that I've learned in those 4 months, she wouldn't know what to fucking do. Okay, she would not know all the lessons that I had to learn in these 4 months to grow and scale a business. Which, for context, I started a marketing agency about 3 months ago and I'm already at $40,000 in revenue. So that's just my background. But if you were going to put that person 4 months ago into the person that I am today, I would absolutely fail. I would lose all my clients. I would not know how to manage my team. And it was all the failures that I had to go through that had made me resilient enough and confident enough to continue to run my business today. But had 4 months ago me come into the picture now, I would not have been ready. I wouldn't have had the dedication, the motivation, the knowledge to do all the things that I'm doing today. And self-love also means not shying away from any challenges that you foresee upon the road. Instead of seeing them as challenges, see them as opportunities for you to learn, opportunities for you to grow, opportunities for you to go through hard things, to build the confidence in yourself to know that you can overcome whatever you just did. I feel like challenges and opportunities and learning through experience is truly one of the best ways to become the best version of yourself. I don't know a single successful person who isn't strong-minded. And to be strong-minded, you have to go through a lot of shit. You have to know how to handle challenging situations, and you have to have the confidence in yourself to know that you can get yourself out of those situations. And if you think about it, success is also just a reflection of how much tolerance for failure you have. So if I could make this a mathematical equation, self-love equals self-growth, which equals success at the end. So that's pretty much my brain dump to you about self-love and how it reflects where you are in your life today and how it reflects in the decisions that you currently make and how you can better yourself and how you can be more self-aware to change your habits, to change your relationship with yourself in order for you to get to the place where you want to be today. And self-love also includes tough love, not being so hard on yourself, but having the self-awareness to know where you're lacking so that you can get on your shit and get to the life that you want to live. Self-love isn't a destination, it's an entire journey. And through that journey of challenges and learning a little bit more about yourself, you get to really, really understand who you are as a person. And self-awareness is one of the key things that you need in order to know how you want to be loved and how you should be showing up for yourself. Self-love is a daily practice. It's not a phase. It's something that you do every single day. You show up for yourself every single day, and it needs consistency. Think about it as like a compound effect, right? The more you do something, the better you get, the more those skills multiply. It's just like a whole snowball effect. And that's how self-love is. That's also how self-destruction is. The more you do your bad habits, the more you say you're going to go to the gym and skip instead, the more you decide to take a nap instead of running your business, the more you lean into those bad habits. That's also a snowball effect. And that's why you see so many people go down this rabbit hole of bad habits and withdrawals. It's also something that you have to remember. I don't know what the saying truly is or the number is. It's like 21 or like 30 days to build a new habit. So it really just takes consistency and repetition. So if you're just starting out in your journey, or if you've been working on your journey for a while now, know that every small habit, every small act of self-love that you're doing is a compound effect to eventually get to where you want to be in life, where you're confident, where you love yourself to the fullest, where in a world where you're your own support system, that's enough for you. Because at the end of the day, the only person that's ever gonna always be with you is your damn self. So why wouldn't you want to give yourself the life that you know you deserve, the life that you know you can give yourself? That only starts from within. That only starts with how much self-love you have and how much self-love you have to give to yourself. And before this video ends, I just want to remind you, as you build that foundation of self-love, you'll see everything around you also start to shift. Your relationships, the way people treat you. You'll start to see people leave your life when you start setting boundaries, and that's just the universe filtering people out that aren't supposed to be in your life. Sudden changes could also just mean that you're starting to become in alignment with your dream life, your true self. And some people don't deserve to be on that journey with you. Another thing to keep in mind. But I could yap about self-love all day. This is really just the core of my ideas and my thoughts about it. Love yourself first, prioritize yourself first. Other people can just walk away from your life, but the only person who can't is yourself. You're stuck with yourself, so you might as well love yourself. I want to know how you guys are showing up for yourself and how you guys are showing yourself love. So I encourage you guys to drop a comment and start a conversation down below about what are the things that you're doing to show yourself self-love every day. Is that sticking to your daily habits? Is that going to the gym when you say you are? Is that building that business even if you're scared of the risk? Is that cutting off really toxic and draining relationships from your life, no matter how hard that might be? Let me know what you guys are doing in the comments. What I'm doing is trying to just show up for myself on the daily, checking off every habit that I know is a non-negotiable for me to get to my dream life, and just doing shit that I say I'm gonna do, no matter how hard it is. I want you guys to encourage each other to grow and to show up for yourself and be the best versions of yourself. If you want more personal growth content, we hit all aspects of your life on this channel. Today we hit self-love, we usually hit finances, business. I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I love to talk about that as well. Fitness, relationships, all of the things. Don't forget to subscribe, obviously, if you want to see more of me. And I also have other forms of social media. I have TikTok, Instagram, whatever. I also have consulting calls open if you need help with your business or just need a coach to help you with life. I don't know. Some people like to talk to me and people find it helpful. So if I could help people, why not? I have my consulting calendar in the description box. I hope this helped somebody. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to love yourself no matter how much you love other people. Love yourself even more and prioritize yourself because people will fucking leave you. Damn, that was harsh. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.